Well, hello people. So it's Peter here down in the old man shed. Friday afternoon. Weather's quite pleasant outside. The temperature's not that high, but it's fairly decent. Right, so today's I'm going to do a little how-to video, and then there'll be some video clips of the trains running. I've got two running at the moment. But as you can see, they're two trains of two engines, both running happily around. The two 67s there on the Network Rail coaches, and the two TPE until they get their coaches. I've got them just going around together, okay? And then the video clips will be more of the same, but with all the other engines that I run double-headed or two-up, okay? And before we get into that, I thought I'd just show you how I do set these up. My DCC controller is the Guagemaster Prodigy Advanced, okay? But I think what I do on the Advanced can also be done on the Express. I could be wrong. And also something else I have to do, where you can set up a consist or a double heading with the Advance on most of my locos. I cannot do it on the Hornby locos, of which there's two 67s, I've got two class 60s, and I've got two 08s. And they're the ones I can't make up as a double header using the DCC controller. But there's another way you can get around it. Okay, so let's get into that. Right, okay, so the Hornbys, which I cannot put as a double heading using my Guagemaster controller. I've tried it numerous times. It doesn't seem to work on TTS chips. So, what did I do to get these two running together? Well, this is the simplest of double heading setup. What do? You give both locos the same address under DCC. Okay, doesn't do it any harm. So the two locos, as far as the chips on board concerned, they think they're the same loco. So obviously they will react to all the instructions that you program. You know, press the horn, both horns will sound, the engine both start up, the lights, both lights come on. Oh, incidentally, what I've done on this one, because this is a train that's going to be exclusively pulling the Network Rail coaches, it's only 4 screws, easy body removal on the 67s, bits of Captain tape to cover over the contacts so the lights at this end don't operate. So I can either have, so I've either got the red lights this end or the white lights that end, depending on direction of travel. Nothing comes on here, same with the other loco, okay? So that stops having red lights or white lights at the wrong end of the loco. It's just me being me. Yeah, but so what do you do with your loco? Take them off, put them on your programming track where you're going to give them the address, the same address. But before I did that, they're both fitted with TTS chips, so they're both the same manufacturer of the loco and the chips. And I reset the chips, right? I re-enter the value of 8 into CV8 to reset the chips back to factory default on both of them, okay? That way then you've done as much as you possibly can that they're speed matched. So renamed one 67 on the track, put that on the track, renamed the other one 67 on the programming track, put that on the track, leave a gap behind, put them both on the track, leave a gap behind, put 67 into your controller, because that's what I call them, run them together, see what happens. And because although they're all supposed to be identical, what we wear and tear and I don't know, difference in manufacturing, this, that and the other, one possibly will be faster than the other. Hopefully, because you've used the same of everything, it won't be too bad. But if you do find that one is slightly leading the other one, then as in this case it was the EWS one here, this little one was slightly reacted faster. When it pulled away, you might find a little bit of movement like that quicker, you know, a little bit more than the DB Schenker one following up on the rear. But then the DB Schenker caught up. So it was just one of those things. So nevertheless, I put this one in front because I'd rather have the faster loco pulling rather than pushing, because if it's pushing the coaches, you probably get derailment because they'll get all buckled up together. Because if this is pushing and the loco in front doesn't want to go any faster, you're putting all that stress into, you know, the rest of the train. So have it pulling. Now the next thing, that's you've worked out, you've ascertained which one's the fastest loco, but they're both going in the same direction at the moment, and I've got them back to back. What do you do there? Take off the one that's going to be at the back, put it back on your programming track, go into the read functions, and you want to read the CV, what CV is it? CV29. You want to see what CV29, what value it returns, because you've gone back to the default. And on this one, it was it came back with a value of just 2. And what you do, you write into the same CV settings a value of 3. You just added 1. Okay, so what was 2, I've now called 3. And what that does, it changes the direction of travel on that loco. So what was once forward, that will be forward. Okay, and of course if you're turning the engine round, which I've done, that works out perfectly. This one's going forward, even though the grille is that end. The DB Schenker one, the grille will be at this end, but forward is still that way. And that's it. That's the simplest of consist setup. Okay, it doesn't do any harm. You know, as you know, whenever you get a new chip, it's always the value of 3, and if ever you have more than one chip 3, they're all moving, aren't they? Well, that's the whole point. You know, you want these two running together, because I cannot do it in the controller. But what I can do in the controller with all the other locos I've got, because they're ESU sound chips, and they all do respond to the controller. So how do you do a consist or a double heading using the Guagemaster? Well, let's have a look. Right, okay, so now we're looking at what I am able to put into the Guagemaster, which are going to be these two 68s, Dapol 68s. I've done the same thing with the Hornbys on these, i.e. that they're both fitted with the same sound chip and decoder, obviously the same manufacturer of train, you know, Dapol. Made sure that I reset everything, value of 8 into CV8, to make sure that hopefully between the two chips everything's exactly the same, as much as I can do. Also, because these are the dreaded 68s with this coupling, which we'll talk about later, these are hard coupled together using this. And alright, you'll see this coupling later on, because I'm going to talk about couplings. Right, this makes the loco behave, because there is no movement between the two locos other than the very sloppy mechanism that's unfortunately Dapol's coupling mechanism. Alright, but that coupling there makes these two behave a little bit more, so you don't get a lot of jerkiness. Everything else, yeah, is the Hunt couplings, even the Hornbys and all the other locos I talk about. However, let's get these two together on a double heading. So I've already got in my Guagemaster, I've already got the actual numbers of each individual loco, because you'll need that, because when you double head, all you're doing, sorry I keep moving the camera, all you're doing when you're double heading under the Guagemaster is control of the movement, you know, backwards and forwards and all the rest of it. And of course if you have your lights on, the direction, you know, the lights will change direction of travel as you change, you know, just like using a normal controller. You've got to have the individual locos numbers, because in that you can then turn the lights on, you can have the engine on and all that sort of thing under each loco. Alright, so if you want the engine on that one only, you don't need to have it on that one. Okay, but by calling up the loco numbers, you still have individual control over the features. What you will not have is movement. because when I call up the make a double heading, you've given over the power of the movement to the double heading of the control. So let's do it. So yeah, that's loco. So what do we do? Right, double head. There we are. He said set. Let's see if I can get all this thing there. So we're saying right, enter. So what are we going to call this loco that's double headed? Well, for simplicity, I'm going to call it 68. You must remember what you give these things, because you are assigning this number, and these locos now, when I'm finished, will not respond to their own individual movement, control. Okay, so it's asking for the first loco, which is this one, and that is obviously 68, he says, and 2 3 2 3. That's the 4, and that's the numbers I've given it. Now you see there the direction of travel. She is gonna, that is this forward direction, so I'll leave that alone. So press enter, sending information through. Now it's saying what's the next loco you're adding, which is this one. So again, just put the 4th number in it, 68 again, and this one is 3 2. Is that right? Yeah, 3 2. However, direction of travel on this one, I want to be in reverse, because that's reverse. At the moment that one wants to go there, that one wants to go there. This one's got to be reversed, so we go into direction of travel, reverse, and press enter. And that's that one done. And now it's saying, do you want to add anything else? No, I don't, because it can carry on. So I'll just press the recall to get back into the main thing. These two locos are now 68. And yet I've got 6832, but you see now if I try to control it, I've put a speed value of 28, nothing's happening. Okay, it will not move. Same with the other loco, will not move. See, 28, nothing at all. So now we've got to add the loco number 68, enter. Now that will move. And there we are. You see, this is what happens, guys. Okay, turn it back, and that's how you double head. And of course, if you because you go back into the individual engines, you can see there I've got the light on. This is where you turn the lights on the individual thing. So lights are on 6832. The light is on this one, the lead loco, also with the halo light on. If I want the sound, see, call up the other one, want the sound. 2 locos now with sound, alright, but that's under their own settings. Press the recall to get the loco, which is 68, change the direction of travel, and you hear these will now respond as if they're one loco to what's happening on here. So change direction of travel, you'll hear the hiss from both locos. Okay, and when you're changing direction, the lights on the locos are changing as well. Okay, and now I can happily move that off. Take it up to... So both engines are running. There you go. If I want to turn the engine off on one of them, yeah, just called it up. Which one I'm going to use? Oh, that's a bit quick, Peter. Whoa, it's going ballistic. Right, she went ballistic because I didn't check the speed step, and she's going around on 14. I don't want it going around on 14, so change it to 28 and press enter. That was my fault, sorry about that, guys. I'm glad you saw that, because that's something else that you need to probably do. Speed step only on the 68, doesn't matter what speed step on the main controller was, which was 28. You see, it didn't matter, it overrode that, didn't it? It's whatever your loco is. So speed map 28, that's it. So let's bring her back round again. Now when I put 15, she should behave herself. There she is in the background. And I'm very happy to say they run sweetly together. No jerking because of the solid coupling between them, but they are running quite happily together. The difference is just maybe, you know, one pulled away a little bit quicker than the other one, but then the other one catches up. So, you know, on my little layout, she's running happily as anything. So it's not the perfect speed matching. I've never been able to work that out completely. Now, someone was asking, you got to both engines running. I can happily turn one engine off on one. So now when she comes round, only the lead engine's got the engine on. You know, you can turn the lights off. You do what you want, but you've got to call up the locos individually, what their own proper number is, because the only thing you've lost is the control of momentum. All the other features, the lights, the engine, the horns, press a horn maybe, let's have a look. And what's happening? Nothing. Oh, I'll turn the engine off so it won't do it. Hold on. Do it on that one. There we go. You see the other one, because I've turned the engine off, all the sounds are gone. Turn the engine off on this one. There we go. Still going around because that's the one that controls it. It's number locos 68. All those other features. Now, you have to undo the double heading if you ever want control of the individual locos again. So you're saying, well, how do I kill the consist? How do I kill the double heading? Well, let's go and do it. You press double head. Now it wasn't a set because we've done that first of all, didn't we? So press double head again. And that one is an old set. I don't, you know what? Bypass that. I don't know what that one does, but what we want is the next one. And it's saying clear. So yes, we want to clear. So you press enter and you say, what do you want to clear? And this is why it's important. Whatever you do, don't forget whatever you called your double heading. And it was 68. We go 68. Press enter. It's clear. It's gone back to the main screen. Now I can't do it. Because they're coupled together. But I now have. Oh, you can see it. I've got control. So that's control of that one. And turn the other one up, and she can't, she's pulling away. But basically the two locos, if they weren't coupled together, I've got complete control by calling up their individual numbers. That one obviously will be going that way, that one will obviously go that way. There we are. So hopefully we've done it all, guys, and that's our you will see on the following videos all my locos. I've got all the same rule of thumb, the two TPEs together, exactly the same loco, same setup. Dapol 68s over the back there, DRS livery, exactly the same setup. They're the same chips, the same locos. The class 37s together, yeah, both by Bachmann. Both run together well because you know, so that's it. Both same sound chips and everything in them. I have a class 37 which has got a Rushton sound chip. It's got the same sound chip, but it's got the Rushton sound file, and that is slightly different setup. So I will not run any of the other 37s together with my Rushton because it's a different engine. Therefore, the CVs are slightly different setup. Okay, because the Rushton was a slow engine. All right, so that's my rule of thumb. Don't mix and match. I've got on the following film I've got two Hatton 66s running. I would not run the 66 with the 68 because two different manufacturers, although the sound chips, you know, EUS sound chip, ESU sound chips, different setups, different motors, different gearing. I don't want to go, you know, down that route. All right, people, so hopefully there we go. I'll leave it at that. So I'll just have these trains running around, but then there's some more clips of everything I've got double heading. Alright people, thanks for watching, hope this has been of use, and I'll catch you later. I know a lot of you Guagemasters, you know how to do it anyway, but I think Susanna, you might be able to do it on your express one, don't know, but I don't know why I can't do the Hornbys. Just do the simple one with the Hornby. Okay, bye. Okay, let's talk couplings. And as you know, with my layout pipe, people, I'll use hunts virtually everywhere, because with no fiddle yard or whatever, I've got to take my wagons or coaches and engines on and off. So it's absolutely a godsend to have the magnets. But this class 68 has got the horrible mechanism which uses the tension lock coupling, and it gives so much movement that yes, it may be alright pulling something around, but I can't wait for these Mark 5s coming from a scale to find how people get on with using the class 68 pushing a rake of coaches, because they're horrible. I've been able to tame it, but this is how I've done it. But first of all, let's have a look. So this is your I think these are the two that I took off my TPEs. I mean, you put tension lock coupling, look at the amount of bloody movement on these things. Look at that. Alright. So yes, when pulling, under tension, but when pushing, and more you're gonna, more often than not, especially with the 68s, it's not the strongest. What you normally find is one rides up, even though they're supposed to, push against each other, one might ride up, and then you're into a world of pain. Okay? I think these are probably what I took off the Dapol 68s. So what do you do? Well, as I said to you on the video, I use this coupling. It's a rigid rod. Okay, it's from DCC Supplies. Can't for the life of me remember what it's called, but if you looked in their couplings, it'd be there. You can see it's like mimicking the fact that it's too trying to mimic the fact of a coupling rod, being put, a screw coupling being put together. Okay, but on my curves, being that I'm second and third radius curves, this was not long enough. The gap is a bit too short. I remedied that. I just cut them in half with a needle file pin, drilled a hole in both of them, then put a steel pin in the middle, just giving a little bit more of a gap there in the middle, and then that's you'll see on my 68s they go round my tracks no problem, because of the mechanism that's on the loco. It allows the excess movement as it goes round the curves. Right, so I've used that. I'm not going to say it's going to be successful for all you guys, but if you're interested, it's DCC Supplies. But may not be your cup of tea, I don't know, because I did have to alter it. Otherwise, what alternatives to the tension lock? Well, I think you've all seen these. These are the Backman. Normally come with a rake of coaches or something if you're going to have coaches running together. That, you can see, gives you a longer gap. Maybe not as long as, these give a long gap, don't they, when they're together? Let's put them together on the board. Hold on. So when they're pulling, they're that long. Okay. So it might be comparable with that one there. Okay. There's this one I found. God knows where I got this one from. He says, trying to struggle. Just a bar. Okay, with the old NEM pocket. Obviously, all these fit in a NEM pocket. Obviously, that gives it very long. As you can see, that's where the end would be. That's where the other end would be. So even longer than the two tension locks. So very long. Otherwise, the cheapest of systems. If you got I'm sure we've all got spare tension lock couplings there. Super glue the buggers together. All right. So yeah, what's that? That's nothing. That's just two tension lock couplings. I've just screwed them together so that they're touching, so that they're not as long. All right. So there we are. I've made one of those. So we could use that. So instead of, I've used that on my locos because I bought those. If you're not too fussed, but you still want to try and control your coupling, and I'm sure, crikey, you're not telling me that All of us out there haven't got a number of these flying around somewhere or other in our odds and sods boxes. Super glue the things together and you've got a solid coupling. And that'll make the loco behave. Alright, okay. Okay people, so now following on is all clips of most of the locos that I run double heading if I want to. Okay, thanks for watching, bye for now, bye.